Alright, let's try this again. Ready to start the podcast. Let's go. Activate interlocks. Topics are selected. Power cells up. Systems are go. Let's go. Podcast force. Form feet and legs. Form the arms and the torso. And I'll form the head. Wait, what the hell? Oh, goddammit, not again. No. And do you see why the leg does not form the head? Yeah, I'm starting to understand now why, but I guess this one did not get the memo. I think this looks better. Let's just... never mind. Never mind at all. Hi, everybody, and welcome to the absolutely, completely random podcast for Friday, October 19th, 2018. Yes, another Friday podcast recording. What the hell? Yeah, I gotta work tomorrow. That's why. I know, it's painful. I know I'm used to doing it on Saturdays, and I feel like I'm cheating on all of you by doing it on a Friday. But anyway, what topics do I have to talk about today? What gets my goat going today? Well, believe it or not, I actually have plenty of topics for once. Honest to God. I was just amazed at this. So Megaman Fully Charged has been removed from Cartoon Network's schedule. Anybody just hear that choir of angels singing? That was pretty cool. Attack on Titan Season 3 is set to have its off-season after 12 episodes, and the second part is going to begin in April of 2019. That's going to be fun to talk about. I have not one, but two Pokemon topics. Pokemon Let's Go is going to be pitting you, the player, against master trainers in the post-game. Wow. It's about freaking time they finally start doing something decent with the Pokemon games. And speaking of Pokemon, Pokemon Go, time to reset my counter again, is finally introducing monsters from Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. We're finally up to Gen 4. Holy Christ. You know how long it's been since I've actually played a Pokemon? I still have my Pokemon White game. I should probably fire that thing up, see how my Pokemon are doing. Japanese fans have ranked the Anisongs they most want to karaoke, which honestly, it sounds pretty cool. The internet is reacting to Crunchyroll and Funimation breaking up. I know, it's sad. And independent game shops are told they're not getting Red Dead Redemption 2 until November. Oh, that's a burn! All this, possibly more. You never know how this podcast goes. Right here on my podcast, the absolutely, completely random podcast. But before we get any further, let's just get this out of the way here 100%. You all know this song and dance by now, but for those of you that are new, check out my eBay page. I have a wide variety of stuff. I am working on getting new stuff up, so there is some more variety coming. Please don't harangue me with there's nothing new on there. It's on my list of stuff to do. Honestly, it's in the top 20. I'm not lying on that. It's in the top 20 of my stuff to do. It really is. But anyway, check out my eBay page, ARHOADS-2012 on eBay for all your wide variety of weird oddity needs. Don't forget, you can also follow me on Twitter at OtakuRoads, and you can also follow the Web Designer 18 Facebook page, because it's just so much fun to interact with me, isn't it? Alright, so this is the part when I usually go for how was my week, and honestly, it's just been exhausting. So, besides the fact that I'm trying to find ways to improve my channel, I'm getting ready for the Q&A video because all the questions have to be submitted by tomorrow, which is the 20th. And I know this isn't going to be going up until the 21st, but yeah. So I'm getting ready for the Q&A video that I'm going to be doing next week. Getting ready for the holiday season where I'll be once again doing night shift, and I'm trying to mentally prepare myself for it, but it's not working out as well as I'd hope. And just a wide variety of other things just keep happening this week. So, yeah, it's just been one gigantic nightmare after another. So what all happened this week? Well, not really much of anything noteworthy, just a whole bunch of small little inconsistencies all piling up together. But truthfully, I mean, what else do you expect? I mean, it's just the same shit, different day, basically. I watched the Mario vs. Sonic death battle, and honestly, I wasn't that impressed by it. I'm going to be talking about that, I guess, maybe, I don't know. But I really, let's just talk about it. I wasn't really too psyched about it. I mean, first off, all right, let me rephrase that. I was ecstatic about it. I'm like, oh, this is going to be cool. When I found out about it. I wasn't a big fan of Daredevil versus Robin, so I didn't watch that one. And apparently, Death Battle always gives you, this is what's coming up next time, and they usually have it up on Twitter. I didn't see it up on Twitter until, hey, the video's dropped for our 100th video. It's Sonic the Hedgehog versus Mario. And I'm like, what the hell? So I watched that on Wednesday, and honestly, for your 100th battle, could have been a little better. I'm not going to deny that. So, for starters, the fact that you made it 2D when you could have easily did CGI for this hurts. 1. 2, the fight was short as shit. I'm not even gonna sugarcoat that. The entire fight was anticlimactic, short, very annoying. Honestly, to me, you built up too much hype for it. It did not. You were writing a check that it could not cash, and it did not cash the check. So, honestly, I'm not exactly too thrilled with it. I mean, what's sad is that it looked so cool, and it's like, yeah, no. Oh, that's great. But otherwise, it wasn't well. It was well thought out, well done, but honestly, just was half-assed, I think, in my opinion. I don't know. I mean, it's just weird. Otherwise, though, my week was pretty good. That, being the one blotch on its spotlessness, as it were. The grocery store I go to is remodeling, so this is kind of fun. They have stuff all over the place. My mom's getting pissed off because she can't find half the stuff now. And honestly, it's always fun whenever she gets a little annoyed because she usually gets pissed off in the most interesting of ways. And this time, it was, I can't find anything in this damn store now because they're remodeling. This week, because they're putting in all new freezers, from what we were told, because the freezers that they had were old. They don't make the Freon for it anymore, so they have to replace them. And the freezers that they're replacing it with, they're really nice. I'm not going to deny that. They are, honest to God, they're nice. I mean, it's actually taken the value of the store, I think, up at least a good couple grand. It looks like, a more high-end store now. They're rearranging some of the stuff because they're going to put freezers or some of the coolers in the back where the crackers were, and they're move the crackers up to the front, which honestly isn't a bad idea because there are people that'll just come in, they'll want to get crackers or something, and it works so much better having it up to the front because that's a much better spot for them. They're going to sell faster because people are going to see them. Versus, hey, we got this stuff and nobody knows about it. But this week they were doing the pizza freezers and the other side of the frozen food, which kind of hurt me because then that means that I couldn't get like any Hot Pockets or something to eat. And yes, I can hear somebody go, but I thought you want to try to give up pizza. Yeah, Hot Pockets aren't technically pizza. Because you don't really get any sauce in those. That's literally, and I've actually done a really good comparison of this. That's mostly just the excess oil and juice from the pepperoni. So, yeah, it's not really technically pizza. hate to break it to them. But it's like, yeah, so you couldn't get any of that because you couldn't get there. My mom actually had to squeeze in to get the bread because the bread's on the same in the same aisle. You just couldn't get a lot of stuff. At least it's not as bad as the week before. We go there. We have a set budget each week, and we couldn't even get halfway to our budget the week before because they were just afraid to put anything on the shelves. They didn't have like any soda or anything for me to drink. No tea or anything that I could get. So there are days when I just don't get anything. I mean, right now I have like a 2-liter of brisk tea in the fridge, and that's going to have to last me for like the whole week. Or I could just drink it and then just drink water for the rest of the week, which is what I'm probably going to do. Water is going to be better for me anyway. So there is that. But yeah, that's how my week went. I know it's been a little long, but yeah. But that's how the week went. And let's dive into the podcast and let's get this going, shall we? Alright, so let's just talk about the thing that's taking the entire internet by storm right now. So, Crunchyroll and Funimation have basically broken up. This is like the big celebrity news for anime nerds everywhere. And truthfully, it's sad, but not exactly an unforeseen circumstance. So, for the past 2 years, Crunchyroll and Funimation, they've been sharing the anime broadcast via a cross-licensing deal, according to Variety. But that agreement's over. Sadly, they're getting a divorce, as it were. In this case, we, the poor kids, have to decide which one we like more, mommy or daddy, and honestly, as long as I get to watch whatever each one's pumping out, I don't care. So that's the way I stand at this point. I love them both equally. Sony-owned Funimation has decided not to renew the agreement. The reason, according to Funimation President and CEO Gen Fukunaga, in an internal memo, Sony is increasing inventions in the streaming company in order to make it a global sub and dub anime brand. Fukunaga also added that Funimation and Crunchyroll parted ways amicably this month. And we all know what that means. This means that Crunchyroll's VRV bundle service won't have Funimation. Starting November 9th, that's not going to be happening anymore. Because of this, some shows will also leave both Crunchyroll and Funimation. But according to Anime News Network, they pointed out the Funimation Now subscribers will get access to, according to Fukunaga's internal memo, several hundred titles starting on November 9th. The good news, though, is that High Dive has inked a deal to become part of the VRV bundle. According to Anime News Network, Funimation confirmed the dissolution, adding that sub-simulcast could start as early as next season. So, like, April? Many fans seem saddened or at least annoyed by the breakup because this might mean you'll need both a Crunchyroll and Funimation account now to watch your stuff. Like I said, as long as you can watch it, I don't really think anybody's going to care, truthfully. So, yeah, you just got to have to change your streaming site. There's a whole bunch of stuff in the article you can get a kick out of. A lot of comments from people, tweets, stuff like that. Honestly, it's really interesting, but basically they just broke up. And honestly, like I said, this isn't like a massive, unexpected thing here because, truthfully, this is something that anybody could have seen. Hey, it's a possibility. Hey, we're not going to be doing this for eternity because, one, Funimation's eventually going to get to the point where it's too big to sustain itself on, just having an agreement with only one company. It's going to eventually grow. It wants to dominate, and it will eventually do that. I mean, look at Viz. Viz is basically its only real competition that's out there. Media Blaster's sure as hell ain't competition. Funimation and Viz are basically the two powerhouses constantly going at it with each other while everybody else just stands around and watches. It's like a tournament of power, if you will. and they're the two high-ranked fighters, and they're just constantly duking it out with one another while everybody watches in the stadium. It's just that interesting. But now this also gives sort of an interesting ideal then to other places that might want to strike a deal with Crunchyroll to have their own stuff on there exclusively. So, it opens up the door for like other anime providers that want to have like the same agreement that Funimation had with Crunchyroll, that they could eventually do the same deal. Even some newer ones that might want to come out and, be created just for that purpose. You never really know. But honestly, I mean, they're eventually we're going to split ways. I mean, it's just a matter of dollars and cents at this point. And honestly, if it's not going to make them enough money, they're going to want to try to do it on their own. Or at least get to the point of, okay, we know what our fans want. We know what our fans can handle, so let's just go guns a-blazing, full barrel, and just do this thing the way we want to do it and be done with it. And that's sort of what they're doing here. Honestly, is it a stupid idea? Yes and no, but I don't really think anybody's going to care so long as they can watch the anime that they want to watch. Yes, it does mean that you're probably going to have to pay. But honestly, you can watch stuff on Crunchyroll for free, people. You can watch it for free, you just have to wait a week. It's not going to kill you to wait 7 days. Trust me. Patience is a virtue. It's not going to kill you to wait 7 days just to just to watch a show that, unless it's a highly popular one, I doubt anybody's going to talk about it. But yeah, you just have to wait 7 days. Or you could just pay the fee each month and watch it that way. It's up to you. But honestly, so long as you still get the anime, so be it. I mean, seriously, I don't see what the big deal is with this one. I just thought it was entertaining and interesting because, like, they're ending their relationship. They're breaking up. And I heard about this today, and I'm like, okay. I mean, this is also coming off the heels of Funimation making their announcement that, hey, we're losing the license. It's expiring for Full Metal Alchemist, the Sacred Star of Milos. That license is expiring, I think, in November, sometime in November. So they're trying to, like, let everybody know, oh, yeah, and we have this. And just so that the fans aren't completely butthurt by that, that they want to still get a copy of that under the Funimation name, that will now be worth money when it'll go out of print. They're like, oh yeah, and on top of that, we're breaking up with Crunchyroll. No! And then they just completely forget about the Sacred Star of Milos. It's like, okay, that just got pushed under the rug. They're not going to care because this is going to overpower it. And honestly, like I said, I don't care to the point that it's literally just them doing this for their own reasons, and I'm fine with that. I mean, they want to have their own reasons to do it, so be it. But truthfully, there's really nothing that I kind of see as a reason to really worry, because you're still going to be able to get, the anime that you want to watch. Sure, you might have to have a Funimation account, but honestly, you have to have an account for Crunchyroll. You probably have an account for half a dozen other anime studios. Why not just make one for them, just get it over with and be done with it? I mean, you're probably already doing it now. I mean, it's just mostly going to be a sense of the plot of the price point at this point. I mean, is it going to be cheap, expensive, or what for whatever they're going to do? So, yeah, I mean, I don't know what the Funimation Now goes for, but honestly, it can't be that bad, or at least not that entirely expensive. So, it's an interesting idea, so to speak. But, I guess only time will tell, see what exactly is going to happen and what's going to traverse from this, but otherwise it sounds kind of interesting. It finally took Pokemon and the Pokemon Company and Nintendo a crap ton of years to finally come up with a decent post-game thing for you to do. For the new Pokemon Let's Go games, that's Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee for the Nintendo Switch, because the Switch wants to have its own Pokemon game. It just can't be happy being a console that stands upon itself. They've introduced a concept called a Master Trainer. So I guess, Ash Ketchum wanted to be the Pokemon Master for how many seasons are we in now for Pokemon? I know it's like 20 years of Pokemon plus. I mean, how many years has it been now? that Ash has been trying to be a Pokemon master. He could just be a master trainer. At this point, he's a master trainer of Pikachu, because that is pretty much what he has. That is his one go-to Pokemon is Pikachu. But anyway, director Junichi Masuda teased last week Pokemon Let's Go will introduce a unique challenge during its post-game. Scattered throughout the world of Kanto are expert trainers, each one the master of a specific Pokemon. Your task? Challenge them all 151 of them. Excuse me for a second. That's cute. Oh, yeah. Alright, so basically they're going to be scattered all over Kanto. You battle them. It's a one-on-one battle, no items. One Pokemon only. So it's basically, that's what it's going to be. And my guess is you're probably going to have to battle them with the Pokemon that they are the master of. So like if it's a Charizard master, you probably have to battle them with the Charizard. If they're a Diglett master, it's going to be a Diglett. Kabutops, it'll be a Kabutops, so on and so forth. This could be interesting and also a hindrance. Now keep in mind though, with the Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu games, they are allowing you to transfer Pokemon over from Pokemon Go, unless they're going to change that. But it's only going to be the original 150 of them. So you will be able to have the trade evolution forms like Gengar, Golem, and Machamp, and Alakazam without having to, trade to somebody just to get them. You can just transfer them in from that game if you want. Which honestly doesn't sound like too bad of an idea, because then that kind of makes it easier to get your hands on the ones that might take a while to get, so to speak, from, somebody else to take on one of the master trainers. So, they'll only battle you once you've bested the Elite Four and taken down the Pokemon League. So basically, after you beat the game, you gotta hold the champion belt in hand. You can go through the Kanto region to find the characters. They're designated through a bubble above their head, showcasing their favorite Pokemon. Their favorite Pokemon also happens to be the only one on their team. Well, no duh. Let's see here. They're only, as well as the only one they're willing to square off against. So yeah, okay, I was right. So you have to battle them with the Pokemon of their choice. Well, yeah, you have to be a master trainer, so to prove that you're a Pokemon master, you would have to take them on utilizing a Pokemon that they like. That'll be an interesting thing, though, to have Ditto versus Ditto, because how in the hell is that going to work? Because all Ditto knows is transform. So that'll be an interesting match, so to speak. That's kind of one that I'm kind of curious how they're going to do that. That's honestly something that I hope somebody beats this thing in record time, pops it up on YouTube, like a walkthrough and a Let's Play of it. I want to see a Ditto versus Ditto match. I mean, they already, in the YouTube trailer that was up, they showed Metapod versus Metapod, a clear homage to the anime, by the way, with the one episode when Butterfree arrived, when Ash was taking on the bug catcher Pokemon, who was using a Metapod, and they just kept hardening. Well, that's great. Yeah. Your Caterpie knew how many moves, and it couldn't use any of the other ones once it evolved, apparently. Okay. Interesting. So, if you want to take on the Charmander Master, that would be apparently this person who wrote the article, you better have a Charmander of your own on hand. Defeating all 151 of these competitors, though, will take a lot of trading, evolving, and catching. So it's an even bigger test of skill than just the fights themselves. And if you're trying to 100% the game anyway, to 100% the Pokedex, if it's only going to be the Kanto Pokemon, you're going to have to trade and evolve and everything else anyway. So you're already doing that to 100% the game to begin with. But beating a Master Trainer lets you take their title away from them. Sad though as it may be, it's an intriguing way to add challenge after the main campaign ends, which can be a hit or miss with the Pokemon series. Honestly, this is something that they should have done way back when they re-released Fire Red and Leaf Green. The original, because back when it came out originally for the Game Boy, it was red and blue, but the green one was Japanese only. Then they gave us the green one instead of having the blue one when they re-released them for the Game Boy Advance. Wouldn't have minded if they would have re-released the special yellow version here in the U.S. I would have loved to have Pikachu following me around. I would have bought that one in a heartbeat. I owned both Fire Red and Leaf Green. I owned, I had Emerald. My one aunt got me that at a yard sale. Let's see. I had Sapphire was the very first one I ever played. I never owned Ruby. Let's see. I had, I think it was Pearl? Yeah, I think I had Pearl, and I had Pokemon White. And that's where I stopped because then you needed a 3DS to play them afterwards. So, yeah. But honestly, that's the one gripe that I've always had with the Pokemon games, that once you beat the game, there is nothing else to do. Let me rephrase that. Let me rephrase it a little bit. There is stuff you can do, but I don't mean like anything that has any massive expounding upon to which makes it worth the effort. Sure, you can take on the Elite Four 1,000 times. In fact, I did that in Leaf Green and honestly just got bored of it. You can basically do some of the extra areas that become unlocked, but they get boring once you beat them fairly quickly. You can catch and evolve all the Pokemon and everything else. With some of the games, beating the game itself allowed you to unlock the trading section and transfer sections from the older games, to transfer over your Pokemon from the older stuff, so on and so forth. And while that's fine and all, it does have its limitations, and honestly, I don't really see it being something that, you really want to jump headfirst into. So, it was the one gripe that I always had. Now, I know that there was one that they came out with. I don't think I ever got it. No, it would have been one of the early ones, I think, where you could take on some of the gyms a second time. But I don't know if that was ever confirmed or not, or if that was just rumor, because honestly, it's never really in the programming, I don't think. Because the one thing about Pokemon that I know, besides it's laid out in a grid pattern, which honestly, if you ever wanted to figure out one of the Pokemon games, one of the old ones, I mean like the DS and previous, because the 3DS completely changed it. Although it's the same thing, we just have to, 3D-ify it, look at it from the third dimension instead of the second one. You could figure out everything. It was set out in a grid pattern. So you could literally take a piece of graphene paper, map out each section, and figure out where the Pokemon are somewhat likely to spawn, which paths would be safe and stuff like that. Now, how I always figured it out, and please someone correct me if I'm wrong, by the way, in the comments, but this is how I kind of figured it out after having to take programming for like a few months at school. How it basically works is simple. It's a random number generator that's going to come up with a number between 0 or 1 and whatever the end value is going to be. And it's going to be like X amount of steps. So let's say, so it would be 1 then, because you can't take 0 steps. Well, technically you can. You just have to turn and not push forward, but yeah. So, okay, 0 or 1, and whatever the X amount of finalized steps would be, until you would trigger a Pokemon, regardless of where you are. So then what the program would do, at least the way I understood it, to the best of my knowledge and the best of my ability, because I'm not a genius, I'm going to flat out say that right now, the program would go into, okay, you've reached the random number generator. You've reached the number of steps that the random number generator has created. Therefore, one of two things will happen. Are you in grass? Are you on sand? Are you on water? Are you anywhere where a Pokemon can appear? Yes, go to event 2. No, go to event 3, where it would basically be, reset random number generator, come up with a new number. It just takes you right back to the beginning. Whereas, okay, you're on grass, water, or sand, or somewhere where a Pokemon can come out, then it's, okay, now go into select random Pokemon from list of ones available for that section. So you're in I'm going to go with Viridian Forest. And it's going to give you like a Pikachu, Caterpie, Pidgey, or Rattata. One of those 4 will then be chosen at random to battle against you. So that's basically how I always saw it. So basically, wherever you landed at on the grid, if that was X amount of steps that you took, that spot would then trigger the event into the program of, okay, you're on a grass tile, so one of two things, something's going to happen. It's either going to be, have you reached the number of recommended steps? Yes. Okay, so you're on a grass tile. Are you on grass, desert, water, whatever? Yes. So then it'll go to battle mode. It'll go, Pokemon, choose one of the 4, and it'll just randomly select one of them, randomly select the level out of the level caps that it has, so on and so forth, and be done with it. That's how I always saw this to be. But when it comes to the games themselves, and honestly, a lot of people aren't, I know I'm not alone in this. So, what a lot of people don't expect is that they kind of want a game where you can go 100% from start to finish and play through every single game. And honestly, as much fun as that would be, and I'm not going to deny that, there are people that have constantly pointed out, no, you can't do that because of the whole, oh, no, this can't happen, this can't be done, because it'll overload the game matrix, because you have a set number of levels, a set number of evaluation points, level capping, and everything else. You can't make the things more powerful because then you'll be overpowered in each new area. And the way I always saw around that, and there was a way around that, but nobody ever thought about it, you could always basically throw in the Pokemon limiter idea. So instead of being able to go from like, okay, I'm going to go to Kanto to Johto, you can't just take every single Pokemon with you. Until you beat the Elite Four, or until you get all 8 of the gym badges in that area, you're basically reset back to the game. Now there's one that you can take like one Pokemon from your team with you into the new area. And basically, it'll listen to you, but that'll be it. So you'll have one Pokemon on your team, but there's no guarantee that it'll be maximum power or anything, because they could easily put down, has to be of level, this level or lower. While yes, it'll give you an advantage over like the first 2 or 3 gyms, you're going to eventually realize it's not going to be enough to take on everything. And you won't be able to transfer any Pokemon or trade any Pokemon over onto your team or take any out of the PC box from the Kanto region until you beat the, full 8 gyms in said area. Rinse and repeat half a dozen times for the entire, X amount of games. The person that brought it up was like, well, you can't really do that because then you'll have way too powerful of wild Pokemon and everything else. But if you have a limiter set, as in like, the Pokemon that you can take along cannot be, higher than this level, then it's basically a reset of the whole game, where you're now basically, okay, you have the knowledge to know what to do, but you can't do everything 100% like you were just doing. You have to go back like you were just starting over fresh again. Rinse and repeat after each and every journey. Honestly, and with a lot of the advances we have now, that could be a game that you could easily come out with for the Switch, for Pokemon, even for the 3DS, and honestly just make it a win-win for everybody. But, yes, while there are some limitations and some problems with that, it honestly doesn't sound like that bad of an idea, nor does it come off as a more idiotic game. I think I did a rant video about this, where I just explained this in more detail. But honestly, that's how I always saw a Pokemon game. But with this newer one for Pokemon Let's Go, Eevee, and Pikachu, honestly, this is finally something that you can do afterwards. It's a whole new challenge to the game that honestly has been long the hell overdue. I mean, I would have loved something like this for Pokemon Black and White. I would have loved I would have loved something like this for Sapphire, Fire Red, Leaf Green. Pearl was long enough as it was, so I don't really want... I'm perfectly fine with this not being in that, because Pearl was too damn long as it was. I'm not joking on that. That game was too damn long as it was. Because I remember playing that, it's like you have to backtrack so much in that game. Oh, well, I just beat this gym, but now I have to go back to this gym, or this town, in order to get an item to go to this town, to go to that gym, but in order to get to that town, to get the item that I need, I have to get something from this town that I'm in now, but in order to do that, I have to go through this. It was just so many fetch quests that just kept adding up and adding up, that just kept annoying the hell out of me. So there was that. But otherwise, honestly, it's a good idea having something like this in a game that honestly deserves it. I mean, it's had it for how long now? So it honestly deserves a decent shot at being able to do something after you beat the Elite Four. Give you some more of a challenge. I know that White did that with, you could occasionally challenge Cynthia, depending on what the time of the year was. You could do some of the other areas that were previously locked, that were, you couldn't go into them. It unlocked the trade set, the trade transfer area, the transfer lab, and everything else. That entire area between the transfer lab, where that was, and all the way over to where it extended on the other side of the map, were finally available to you. So you were able to go in there and finally do that part of the map, open up an entirely new prospect of characters, because there was more Pokemon over there. There was Cloysters, some Krabbies, some Kangaskhans, Fearos, things like that. So you had that entire ability. But this, honestly, is something that I don't see it being a bad thing. I see it being way the long hell overdue. Because they should have did this, or at least something like this, when they started re-releasing the games and they started making them better with the DS. They could have started doing stuff like this. So that's how I feel about that. I like the idea, love the concept, wish you would have did it sooner, because I'm not into the Pokemon scene anymore because I don't have a system to play them. So yeah, thanks for doing it now when it doesn't help me anymore. But yeah, that just kind of sucks. But I'm looking forward to it, at least to watch it on YouTube, basically, because that's what I intend to do. I'm going to watch a Let's Play of them battling a Pikachu trainer. And I especially want to see Ditto versus Ditto. I want to see how you're going to do that. That's going to be interesting. So, Red Dead Redemption 2 is coming out. And if you're an independent game shop, you probably got the memo by now. But if you're not and you are hoping to go to one of your independent game shops to get the game, they're not going to be getting it until November. So, what's the deal with this? Yeah, I know, it's like a Jerry Seinfeld thing. And what's the deal with shrimp? What's the deal with this? Basically. So, Red Dead Redemption 2 is coming out October 26th. Zach Gregg spent over $3,300 adorning his small local chain of Pennsylvania video game stores with billboards, flyers, posters, and other displays toting the highly anticipated Western adventure game that his customers have been pre-ordering 2 years ago. It was at the store's own expense, but Gregg figured that the advertising dollars would surely convert to sales of the upcoming game. But a couple weeks ago, his distributors had some bad news for him. He won't be getting the game on time for its release across the country. Other local game stores were hearing the same thing. So, according to local game stores and distributors interviewed by Kotaku, mom-and-pop gaming outlets may not be receiving the most anticipated game of the year on October 26th, the day of its release. To get in on the hype, these customers will likely download the game on their PlayStation 4, Xbox One, or pick it up from retailers like GameStop or Best Buy, which will be receiving the game on time. While a few stores have said that they might be able to get Xbox One copies on time, in general, local stores will be cut out of the first week of Red Dead Redemption 2 sales, which will choke their earnings for the game. Ow! Gamers don't like to wait, is what Greg told Kotaku over the phone. We have a very loyal customer base per se, but I don't think they'd want to wait for a week. It's ridiculous. They're going to download it or go elsewhere and buy it at a big box retailer. Between Greg's force, and I apologize if I'm mispronouncing your name, by the way. I do apologize. Griegs. I apologize if I'm mispronouncing it. But between his 4 stores, he predicts his customers would have purchased more than 1,000 copies. He said that's potentially $60,000 in lost sales. Even GameFly, the top game rental service, isn't getting the game on time. According to them, their supplier indicated that they will not receive the game prior to its release date. At this time, we do not expect to ship PS4 discs before Wednesday, November 7th. We understand Red Dead Redemption 2 is a very popular game and apologize for this delay. Neither Rockstar nor its parent company, Take-Two Interactive, have responded to Kotaku's request for a comment. Of course not, because if they would respond to this, it'd basically be admitting, well, we don't want it to go to mom and pop shops because Walmart, GameStop, Best Buy, all those big box ones, that's who we want to deal with from now on. You mom and pop stores, we want you gone. You're a blight on us. We don't want to deal with you. We're going to lose too much money if we're dealing with you. So local game retailers were interviewed by Kotaku aren't sure why this is happening. I could give you about 7 reasons why. Several say they were told by distributors that there was an issue with supply. 2 distributors confirmed this, though, to Kotaku. Yet some store owners are skeptical, with 2 longtime owners saying that nothing like this has ever happened before, even for the biggest games. One person who runs Video Games New York thinks there might be some fear around local stores breaking street date. They want a distribution chain that they control. Basically, and for those of you that don't know what this is, breaking a street date, since I work in retail, I can actually explain this, since I actually know it. You'll get a box when you get your deliveries, and it'll have you cannot put this out on the shelves before this date. Let's say, let's go with my example, because I always wanted to open up an otaku store. Yes, there you go. See a little fantasy of mine. Ask away, by the way, for the Q&A. Shameless plug there. But anyway, let's say that I own a business and I get in a box of something that's brand new, highly anticipated, not supposed to be on the shelves before this date. I get a little antsy because, hey, if I put it out on the shelf first and somebody comes in and sees it, then that's more money for me because then they'll want to buy it from me. And the thing that is wrong with that is that the distributors will find out about it first off, especially nowadays with social media. They will find out about it. But on top of that, there's also the fear that, they're going to do this every time. So then when I go to order something else, it's going to be, we don't think we can get it to you on time. All because I got a little antsy and put it out like 2 days before it's supposed to be released. That's what they're afraid of. And I apologize, by the way, to any of you that may have already known that. I'm basically just explaining that for people that don't know. So yeah, breaking the street date is a bad thing. And they want a distribution chain that they can control. Yeah, because it's basically, they crack their whip. And instead of going, yes, master, no, master, it's, yes, we will do what you ask. Another person who manages a game store in Colorado isn't so sure that's the reason. 5 days to a week is a long time to be controlling for leaks. I think if they were worried about street date, they could get us, they could get it to us on the 26th. He does think it could possibly be a supply issue, considering rumors he read about on IGN that the game's physical copy is printed on 2 discs, not 1, and that's a lot of discs to print. Yeah, not going to deny that. I mean, 2 for the price of 1, that's a lot of discs. Or it could just be a combination of the two, or it could honestly be that they want to just deal with big box retailers where they know people are going to go. Plus, in this day and age, and I really hate to say it this way, but it's true, and I really, really hate to say it this way because I know I'm going to be kicking myself afterwards. You do have everybody wanting to buy stuff online. So it's just as easy for them to get the game off of the PSN store or the Xbox store or stuff like that, rather than go and buy a physical copy of the game. So that person isn't so skeptical or sympathetic, though, to Take-Two's plight. To compete with stores like GameStop that offer pre-order bonuses, he commissioned a local artist to draw up designs for custom Red Dead Redemption 2 t-shirts. A game store with no new game and a stack of handmade t-shirts is a sad thought. I can think of a sadder thought. How about a video game store with no video games and a stack of pre-order bonuses that they can't even push on a month of Sundays? That's an even sadder thought. Yeah. But thankfully, though, the person thinks that some of his customers might be okay with waiting. We have some pretty great customers, he said. We've reached out to everybody who pre-ordered the game and told them the deal. A lot of them have been fine waiting the extra week to support our business and help us out, because people aren't assholes. All in all, I'm kind of thinking it's a multitude of things. I mean, you have, yes, the fact that if it's 2 discs instead of 1, that is a major issue, because it's double the discs that have to be printed. You could easily screw up at some point, and that does take a lot more time. 2, it could just be the fact that they don't want to deal with small stores anymore because they want to deal with like Amazon, Walmart, Best Buy, GameStop, and all the big box retailers, the big boys on the block. They don't want to deal with the little mom and pop shops anymore. 3, the whole street date thing, because nobody wants to, have something early and all of a sudden be like, well, this person got it early. How come we couldn't get it early? And that's a problem, because with Best Buy and all those other ones, they can control that. Because they can go, no, if you even try to put that out a day early, you won't get anything from us anymore. We will automatically cancel any orders you put in. So you won't get squat from us. And they can easily do that. So there is that issue too. Honestly, though, I think it's a multitude of reasons, and they all stink to high hell, basically. It's basically Take-Two Interactive's way of saying, well, thank you all for pre-ordering our game. Hope you like the fact that we're going to make you wait an extra week if you want to get it from your local mom and pop shops. Otherwise, just get it online, because we're going to make a little more money directly that way, and we don't have to pay. We don't have to worry about making the extra effort of printing a physical disc. We can just plop it up online. Here you go. Download it. It's yours. Thank you for your money. It's sad. It sucks. But, yeah, that's honestly, I think, what's probably going to happen. But hopefully they do manage to fix this. And I do feel sorry for the guy that spent all that money on his small Pennsylvania game shops. Because that really sucks. Oh, I could just imagine how I would hate being an owner that does that, walking into my store every morning and just realizing, yep, I put all this advertisement out for what? Yeah, I'm gonna go bankrupt now. Oh well, I enjoyed being an owner of a game shop while it lasted. That's going to suck and hurt me, but alright. Yep. So, honestly, it sucks. I agree with them that it sucks, and you have my sympathy. You honestly do. I'm not going to deny that. You have my sympathy. So who out there is still playing Pokemon Go? Have you been following the adventures? Have you been searching for that mystical Pokemon Meltan out in the real world, with your smartphone, avoiding traffic and doing all those raid battles, gyms, making new friends, and everything else along the way? Have you enjoyed playing through Kanto, Johto, and Hoenn? Well, guess what? You can now add Sinnoh to the list. That's right. Niantic officially announced this week that the characters from the happy-go-lucky Sinnoh region are finally coming into the game. And this actually plays out pretty well, because I remember last year, a friend of mine he's basically playing this game. He's obsessed with it. His wife is pissed that he's obsessed with it, but he's obsessed with it. And he was talking to one of his friends, because I was invited up for a little get-together thing, and he's going, well, you can either hold on to as he was talking about an Electabuzz, you can either hold on to it in hopes that they'll come out with, his evolution form, if they even make it to Gen 4, but that's a long way off. Yeah, who would have thought that'd be about almost a year later? Honestly, who would have thought? But yep, that's right, the Sinnoh Pokemon are finally coming to Pokemon Go. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with Sinnoh, which I'm sadly not unfamiliar with it, it's the long-ass version from Diamond and Pearl and Platinum. It basically is all the Pokemon from that era. Although there are some good ones in that group, Electivire is a very good Pokemon, I'm not going to deny that. You also have Chimchar, Piplup, Turtwig, Lucario's a kick-ass one, Luxray, you have Lopunny, or Baniri, and Pachirisu. You have a whole bunch of new birds, some really cool evolutionaries. You got Bidoof. For those of you that have ever seen the Pokemon Rusty Adventures on Dorkly, you have Bidoof. It's just so cool. So you can finally catch these cute little Pokemon, and they are already apparently out in the game, so this is going to be pretty cool. And keep in mind, Pokemon Go launched back in 2016, and it's been growing ever since. I mean, this is like huge. First off, you have the Dittos transforming into that Meltan Pokemon that apparently has an evolutionary form when you get X amount of them together, apparently, because that's what was hinted at in that video. So yeah, there's all that. But you basically now can get all your cool Pokemon, like Turtwig, Chimchar, and Piplup. Yep. They're going to make their way into the mobile game sometime this week, which apparently they've already done, according to some unconfirmed sources. I don't play the game, so I really don't know. And I try not to bring it up around my friend, because she is still pissed that her husband plays this. This is like obsessed for him. She can look forward to discovering more Pokemon over the next few weeks, appearing in the wild, hatching from eggs, and battling in raids. Because with Sinnoh, everything's fun. And honestly, I will give Diamond and Pearl a crap ton of slack for how long the game was, but it did have some decent Pokemon in it. I'm not going to deny that. Lucario has to be my favorite addition from that entire era, because honestly, he kicks so much ass. I love that Pokemon. You got Manaphy, the one that I actually waited in line at Toys R Us for. Oh, God, there's some old school memories right there. I waited in line at Toys R Us for Manaphy. Oh, God, I just remember that so fondly. Yep, I was the tallest and I think oldest nerd there. But anyway, the game does have like an entirely great amount of Pokemon. You got like Rhyperior, Magnetar, and Electivire, which are the three newer evolutionary forms of Rhydon, Magmar, and Electabuzz. Honestly, I like Electivire the most out of that. He just seems so kick-ass and cool. Let's see. You have... What other ones were... you got Misdreavus, Honchkrow, two new evolutions for Eevee. There was a Leafeon and Glaceon. The three the three sprite Pokemon, Azealeaf, Mesleaf, and something else. You have Regigigas in this one. Palkia, Dialga, Luxray, which I already said, Spiritomb. So many Pokemon in this game that just kick so much ass and take names. So many of them are so cool. Crap, there's like so many of them in that game. It's difficult to go through all of them. Crap. Darkrai. So it's going to be like an interesting raid for that one. And I wonder if that might be why they came out with it early. Because think about it, Halloween is coming up. And, I mean, Halloween's like less than X amount of days away. It's like 12 days away. So, it's not entirely infeasible that they might be coming up with Darkrai and might be a raid boss on Halloween. Because Darkrai is basically the nightmare Pokemon. So you figure, hey, if Generation 4 Pokemon are in this, Darkrai is a Generation 4 Pokemon, it does make sense that you could get Darkrai. So that would be pretty cool. There's also the newer evolution for, or at least the newer form or addition character for the two dragons, Latios and Latias. Yeah, I remember I caught Latias and I just nicknamed it Chiron from Legends. Yeah, that was fun. Still have that one too yet in my game. Level 100 and everything. But yeah, there was just so many cool additions with this one. But the game just took for freaking ever to play. The original one, Diamond and Pearl. I did not get Platinum. I watched the video for Platinum online, and when they got to the Twisted Dimension for Giratina, I just threw my hands up in the air and said, nope! No way in hell! I'm not even going to try. I'm not even going to buy it just to try. Sort of like what I did when I found out that there was more to do after Star Ocean till the end of time. Or Star Ocean, till the end of time. I found out that after you beat the game, it's like, oh yeah, there's still so much more you can do. And when I saw a video of what the final boss, the actual final boss of the game is, I'm like, yep, not happening. I am not going. Nope, that's it. I'm done. Because the final boss, like the final one's like this big red dragon-like thing, and I'm like, nope, forget it. I got my ass kicked by the boss of the game to beat story mode. I am not about to go the extra mile. Screw it, not 100%ing this one. Good night, folks. So yeah, there was that. But otherwise, honestly, it's a really interesting thing that we're finally going to get the new ones in here. You got Staravia, Staraptor, Starly, all those birds. Luxray, Shinx. Lucario, honestly, is going to be the one that I'm hoping my friend will get, because Lucario kicks ass. I can't wait to hear what she's going to nickname this. This is the friend of mine that cannot name Pokemon to save her life. You could write down every single name, and honestly, she's just like, well, it's Flamey Dog, Arcanine. And there's an orange Firebird. Does it have flames, or does it look like a giant chicken? Oh, no, the giant chicken. Giant chicken. Okay, that's Ho-Oh. Yeah, then there's the flaming bird. That's Moltres. Then there's that thing with two spoons. Alakazam. And she's describing it. I'm just rattling them off. It's like, yep. That's this one, that's this one, that's this one. I mean, I don't have the nickname of the Pokemon God for nothing. At least up to Black and White, I am the Pokemon God. After that, for X and Y, forget it. Because I didn't play X or Y. But up until the end of Pokemon White, I am the Pokemon God. I never got White 2. In fact, I wanted to. But I am the Pokemon God up to that point. But anyway, it's just interesting that they're finally getting Gen 4, so I can't wait to, Electivires are going to be all over the place. You can probably trade it up with the next update and everything. So it's going to be really cool to see. Just also, because you figure now that we're getting into this one, they also have Shaman. That was an interesting Pokemon you could get in there, though I'm not going to deny it. I kind of cheated to get the Pokemon because the event was a one-time only event that you couldn't get, and the code was in the game, and I mostly used the AR thing, honestly, just for the Poké Dollars, because I kept having to use so many Pokeballs because the catch rate in that game was, I don't know if it was just my copy or if it was every one of them was just royally screwed up. I mean, I could chuck 6 Pokeballs at a Pokemon, they would just keep breaking free. Those bastards are not cheap. They're like $200 a ball. You know, that stuff ain't cheap. The Ultra Balls in that got higher and higher as you go. It's like, you just keep breaking out of it, you little bastard. So there was that. But anyway, yeah, I'm kind of excited about this. I mean, I have no interest in this game. First off, I don't have the game. I am not going to get the game just so that I can, get an Electivire and that. Because the only way I could use a tablet is with a Wi-Fi connection. So I'm not going to walk around the outskirts of my house holding my tablet like, come on, Pokemon, where are you? I'm not that stupid. Honest to God, I'm not that stupid. I'm sure as hell not doing that. But anyway, like I said, that's an interesting thing. They're finally getting into Gen 4, which is a good way to go. So they're probably going to have like a Christmas event with Shaman, because Shaman kind of looks like a Christmas tree. And let's see, if this is, yeah, because you figure you could have Jirachi from Gen 3 and Shaman from Gen 4. You could have Darkrai for an event for Halloween. And what the hell could you do for Thanksgiving? I'm not really sure. But anyway, there's a whole bunch of them you can do. A whole bunch of stuff. So yeah, it's really cool and interesting. Honestly, I think it's just cool, nonetheless, that you're finally going to get a chance to get some of these. That's interesting enough. So there you go. If you have Pokemon Go, check see if it updated. You might be able to start finding yourself some Piplups, Chimchars, and whatnot. Personally, go for the Chimchar. Infernape kicks ass. But you didn't hear that from me. Alright, so for those of you that were fans of Megaman Fully Charged, some sad news. Don't bother getting yourselves up at 6:30 in the morning on Sundays to watch it because, well, it's not going to be on Cartoon Network anymore. Now, that doesn't mean that it's not going to be on their website, because apparently it's going to be, or on the app, so yeah. But it's not going to be on the actual channel anymore at 6:30 in the morning. Now, first off, if you ever notice when networks like this put shows on in the early morning hours, they're putting them there to kill them. That is a mercy killing as far as they're concerned, because the ratings are going low. They figure, you know what? Stick it at the 6 a.m. slot, 6:30 slot. No one's going to watch it. It can just die peacefully there. They did that with Transformers. Energon pissed me off too, because I ended up getting up. They had it on at 6:30, and then they changed it up the next month, and they had it coming on at 6, and I missed a good chunk of the final arc with the combiners for Energon and everything else. That pissed me off. So yeah. But it's basically, it's done. Honestly, there are fans that are upset by this, but let's face it, this wasn't that great of a series. New episodes are still coming out online, so you can still watch it online, and I'm assuming also on the app. Yes, okay, via the app as well. On demand via U.S. cable providers on their website, and I'm assuming on the app too. But for all the folks eagerly waking up at the crack of dawn on a Sunday morning, you can sleep in. Shut your alarm off and you can sleep in. From little to no marketing to an early morning death slot, which I always love, the death slot, the early morning death slot. That's where everything goes to die. Bakugan, Transformers, anything Cartoon Network thinks is crap gets the early morning time slot just to kill it off. Cartoon Network knew exactly what they wanted to do with Fully Charged from the get-go. Not really unexpected. Is it dead officially? Until we get exact words from DHX and Cartoon Network, it's hard to say. But it's not on their channel anymore, only online, so they're giving it the Legend of Korra treatment. And for those of you that are unfamiliar with what that is, that means that they're done with it. They want nothing more to do with it. So it's, if you want to watch any more episodes of it, you need to go online to watch it. We're not going to waste our precious airtime with backers, commercials, sponsors to put this garbage up. So they finally started to see the light. Interesting. Fully Charged just started airing in Canada. It's going to be heading to the UK shortly, so hopefully it'll stick around there for a little bit, but it's not really doing too confident, though, here anymore. According to a tipster over at the Megaman Network, the show could very well live on through Boomerang, with reruns currently airing on Boomerang since August. The possibility, though, certainly exists. I mean, it worked for Sonic Boom. Yes, let's all remember how wonderfully well Boomerang used to have good programs on, and now basically is the dumping ground for stuff Cartoon Network doesn't want to have anymore. Oh, yeah, we licensed Sonic Boom. Here, Boomerang, you can have it. Huh. We have a cool show that's only 7 minutes long per episode, and we have this, Megaman Fully Charged. Hey, Boomerang, come in here for a minute. Got a show for you. Enjoy. All right, let's pop this baby online. All right, let's start making this one. And that's honestly what it's probably going to be. But yeah, it does kind of suck. But there's no mid-season, no reschedule, no break announced. It's just gone off of Cartoon Network's official channel that you can get on TV. But you can still pull it up online and that. So like I said, they're giving it the Legend of Korra treatment. Because they did that for Legend of Korra. Nickelodeon did that for the final season. It's basically you could only watch it online via the Nickelodeon website. It was a pain in the ass to load. It didn't load right. At least for me, it didn't load right. You couldn't really enjoy it, and so on and so forth. It just really sucked. Honestly, I had no beef with it, but still, they just shafted it to the wayside because they didn't want to deal with it anymore. And that's kind of what Cartoon Network sort of did here. But for Cartoon Network to do it, honestly, it's about damn time. Because it wasn't that good of an idea to begin with. I could have told them it wasn't that good to begin with. Nobody liked it. It sucked. The plot was all over the place. The animation was crappy. Honest to God, it was a wasted space. You even dragged the poor voice of Optimus Primal, Optimal Optimus, and all the decent Optimuses from before Peter Cullen took back over the reins. The second best Optimus, basically, you dragged into the role as Dr. Light. And honest to God, that was the stupidest idea they could have done. But still, I'm glad it's off the air. If it's online, fine. You can still avoid it online. But I'm glad it's off the air. That's one win for us fans, basically, of wanting decent programming on Cartoon Network again. And I don't even have cable, and I'm still rooting for them to get their heads out of their ass, basically. But yeah, so that's basically it. It's done. It's over. Bye-bye. Attack on Titan fans, you better listen up. Your precious show is sadly going on hiatus for a little bit. It's taking a break. That's right. Attack on Titan Season 3 is set to have an off-season after 12 episodes. The second act is going to begin in April of 2019. So following the broadcast of episode 12 of Attack on Titan Season 3 in Japan, it has been announced that the series will go on a 24-week off-season. 24-week off-season. That is an entire season. So, the second core premiering in Japan sometime April 2019. Now, there could be a tremendous amount of reasons as to why this is. It could just be a break that they need to take, possibly wanting to change up staff. Nobody really knows. Toonami's just aired episode 8 as of this listing here, or as of this article, this past Saturday, meaning there's 4 episodes left until the dub gets to the mid-season break. Assuming Toonami's regular schedule, though, of course, takes a week off for Halloween weekend on October 27th, the mid-season finale is expected to air on November 17th. It is presently unknown what Toonami and Funimation's plans will be for Attack on Titan going forward, or if another show will join the lineup during the show's hiatus as of this time. Well, they are getting Megalobox, so that might be, what's going to replace it. at least temporarily. But honestly, I mean, you kind of have to wonder, why are they taking a 24-week hiatus all of a sudden? Is it, for something to catch up? You don't want to have fillers? What is it? I mean, because I know that there is a manga, but if they're going on a hiatus so that the manga can get ahead of the anime, then you're basically trying to create an anime series with no fillers whatsoever. While that's fine, and honestly, a filler, arc in this would suck because there's really no arcs in this, it's also kind of detrimental. Now, granted, the fans have been patient for Season 2 for how freaking long, and now we're into Season 3, so yeah, I don't think they're going to give two rats' asses whether or not it's on a hiatus. They know it's coming back. So long as you have that light at the end of the tunnel that says, we're coming back at this point, they're going to be fine with it. They're not going to care. So, yeah, honestly, it sucks, but that's what's happening. So Attack on Titan Season 3 is ending for now, but it will be back. I guess we have to let Eren Yeager recharge his Titan batteries. Because, hey, the Duracell guy has to be there sometime, and I just realized I did something really stupid. I'm going to have to fix that then. Yeah, I'll explain later what I did. Because it was idiotic on my part. Not something anybody else did. It was just something that I did. Just a little oopsie I made. But alright. But anyway, yeah, honestly, not that bad. Yeah, well, it sucks. There's probably a magnitude of reasons for it and reasonings behind it. So we honestly just have to wait and see what they are before we make any judgments. So there is that. But anyway, yeah, that's all there is to it for now, I guess, huh? Alrighty, everybody, that's going to do it this week for the absolutely, completely random podcast. I apologize, by the way, if I sound a little stuffy. My allergies are acting up. It's getting kind of stuffy. I'm hoping I'm not getting sick because I don't have the luxury of ever getting to call off for sick. Yeah, it's my own personal hell. But anyway, hopefully I'm not getting too sick. Hopefully it's just like a sinus cold or something, or just my sinuses, I'm hoping. Anyway, don't forget, Q&A video will be coming out. By the time this video goes up, questions will no longer be accepted. So there is that. I am working on some improvements for the channel. There is going to be a channel update video coming out sometime in the near future. I don't have it set yet because I'm trying to figure out if I want to record it audio only or try video again, try to start fixing my issue with that. I'm not sure. But anyway, while I'm on that subject, didn't really get any answers as to which format people would like the Q&A video. Because the last time I did it with video, do you want to see me again? Or do you just want me to do the questions audioly, like I do the podcast and pretty much all of my videos? Let me know, because that's going to help me decide how I'm going to be recording this thing. So, yeah, I mean, am I going to be recording this with my tablet, or am I going to be recording this with my camera? Or am I just going to be using my good old microphone here? Let me know before I do the video. It's going to be coming out before the end of October. So, October ends on the 31st. You have a whopping 12 days. I just said that. But by the time this video goes up, you'll have a whopping 10 days to decide. Let me know, because I can easily record it via microphone and have it up, or I can do video. So please let me know in the comment section which you prefer. Don't forget, if you have any topics you'd like me to discuss here on the podcast, feel free to let me know, as long as they don't violate politics or religion, because I will not touch either of those two things on any of my videos. Feel free to drop me a line on any of the 4 ways you can on here, in the discussion section on my YouTube channel, or you can even swing by and say hi if you want. On my Twitter, you can send them to me there, at Otaku Roads. You can send them to me at the Facebook page for Web Designer 18, And don't forget, you can also email them to me via the podcast official Gmail account, acrpodcast@gmail.com. I do check that, by the way, once a week. So, and keep in mind, when I say once a week, I literally do mean once a week. I check that. So, but you don't get a reply back from me. I only check it once a week because I had to leave myself a note to do that, because I don't check it on my tablet. I only check it on a desktop or a laptop. So if you want to get in touch with me, Twitter is probably the easiest, or the discussion section on my channel. Either way, you'll get a hold of me. So if you have any topics you'd like me to discuss, or anything you want to hear me say, feel free to let me know. And until next time, I'm Andrew Rhodes. I have got to get some sleep because I got to get up at 2:30 in the morning to go to work. I have been your host. I am hoping I'm not catching a cold, and I will catch yous all next time right here on the Absolutely Completely Random Podcast.